You're listening to the N2K Space Network.
At Thales, they know cybersecurity can be tough and you can't protect everything. But with Thales, you can secure what matters most. With Thales's industry-leading platforms, you can protect critical applications, data, and identities, anywhere and at scale with the highest ROI. That's why the most trusted brands and largest banks, retailers, and healthcare companies in the world rely on Thales to protect what matters most: applications, data, and identity. That's Thales. THALES. Learn more at thalesgroup.com/cyber.
Today is October 1st, 2025. I'm Maria Varmazis, and this is T-Minus.
T-minus 20 seconds to LOS egress. Go for deploy. Roger, roll.
Australia has renewed agreements with the United States and the United Kingdom that strengthen collaboration.
4.
Astroscale has signed a memorandum of understanding with High Earth Orbit Robotics, better known as HEO.
3.
Portal Space Systems has successfully tested a solar thermal propulsion system.
2.
Blue Origin has unveiled a new program to map lunar resources.
1.
Thales Alenia has signed a contract with ESA for the Secure and Cryptographic, or SAGA, mission.
0.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, although it is not so happy for U.S. federal employees who are currently stuck in limbo. The United States government shut down at 12:01 a.m. last night, and this obviously has a big impact on the space industry, affecting NASA, NOAA, the FAA, and the launch ranges here in the United States, as well as just about anyone who does business with the U.S. government, which, again, is a lot of folks in the space industry. So we will see how this plays out in the coming days and possibly weeks, and what long-term impact it has on planned programs. But for now, we hope, like I suspect all Americans do right now, that the impasse will be resolved quickly, and we wish our very best to all of those in government service who are directly impacted right now. With that said, let's move on to our intel briefing items for today. Thales Alenia has signed a contract with the European Space Agency for the Secure and Cryptographic, or SAGA, mission. The contract covers the system definition and preliminary design of a fully European end-to-end quantum key distribution system for governmental use. The SAGA mission aims to demonstrate a quantum key distribution, or QKD, service that will enable secure QKD provision via a space segment consisting of a single low Earth orbit QKD satellite. And they aim to develop an access segment made up of 4 space quantum communication infrastructure access nodes that will be strategically distributed across Europe, and a control segment that's responsible for system operation and its integration with the terrestrial Euro QCI infrastructure. ESA's SAGA mission has been developed in close collaboration with the European Commission as the space-based element of the European Quantum Communication Infrastructure Initiative, known as Euro QCI. And the project is supported by multiple European space agencies, with additional agencies expected to join as the mission advances and expands its objectives. The mission is funded under ESA's Advanced Research in Telecommunications Systems, which is part of the Directorate of Connectivity and Secure Communications. Blue Origin has unveiled a new program to map lunar resources. Blue Origin says Project Oasis is a multi-phase initiative aiming to identify key lunar resources from orbit, assess them on the ground, and harness them in situ. Project Oasis is being conducted in partnership with Luxembourg and its National Space Agency. It'll be led by Blue Origin's Space Resources Center of Excellence and the company's international office in Luxembourg. GOM Space and ESRIC in Luxembourg are also supporting this project. And the campaign aims to create the most detailed high-resolution maps to date of lunar water ice, helium-3, radionuclides, rare earth elements, precious metals, and other materials that are all crucial for humanity's expansion into space for the benefit of Earth. Portal Space Systems has successfully tested a solar thermal propulsion system. The demonstration was conducted at operational temperatures inside a vacuum chamber, validating the core technology powering Portal's spacecraft Supernova. Portal says Supernova is being developed for space superiority through rapid maneuverability and long-duration missions. The test campaign was conducted at Portal's Washington facility and demonstrated full power, high-temperature operation of the company's patented 3D-printed heat exchanger thruster, confirming predicted performance under flight-like conditions. Congratulations to them. Astroscale has signed a 3-year memorandum of understanding with High Earth Orbit Robotics, better known as HEO or HEO. The agreement deepens an existing partnership to develop and deliver critical capabilities for monitoring, assessing, and ultimately servicing allied defense, government, and commercial assets. The companies are collaborating to build the tools to track, manage, and service spacecraft in orbit, and they want to enhance the resilience of satellites that underpin daily life on Earth, from GPS navigation and national defense operations to weather forecasting. And by sharing technology, data, and expertise, Astroscale and HEO are aiming to drive forward the commercial and technical foundation needed to secure the future of space. And that theme of collaboration continues at the International Astronautical Congress, or IAC, this week. The US and Australia have signed a framework agreement that strengthens collaboration in aeronautics and space exploration between the two nations. Potential areas for cooperation include space exploration, space science, earth science, including geodesy, space medicine and life sciences, aeronautics research, and technology. NASA has collaborated with Australia on civil space activities since 1960, when the two countries signed their first cooperative space agreement. And as part of an existing partnership with the Australian Space Agency, Australia is developing a semi-autonomous lunar rover, which will carry a NASA analysis instrument intended to demonstrate technology for scientific and exploration purposes. And the rover, or Rover, if we want to call it by its real name, is scheduled to launch by the end of this decade through NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services, or CLPS, initiative. Additionally, the UK Space Agency and the Australian Space Agency have renewed the Space Bridge partnership at the IAC. The framework arrangement builds on the initial Space Bridge established in 2021 and is designed to strengthen collaboration, exchange expertise, and create new opportunities across both nations' space sectors. And that wraps up today's top 5 stories from the space industry. Stay with us for details on funding opportunities to get your payloads on the ISS. But before we get to that, N2K senior producer Alice Kruth joins me now with a look at some of the other stories that we are watching. Alice, what are you looking at today?
Before the shutdown, the US Space Force announced the operational acceptance of the Advanced Tracking and Launch Analysis System, or ATLAS, marking a new era in space domain awareness and setting a precedent for modern software acquisition practices within the Department of War. The US and France are planning a second joint mission of coordinated satellite maneuvers in orbit. IEEE Spectrum is warning that in some orbits, the Kessler syndrome is already underway. The Australasian Space Innovation Institute has been unveiled in Australia, and SpaceX is targeting no earlier than October the 13th for the next Starship launch.
Okay, so that is a lot to take in. So where can we find out more about all of those stories?
We include links to further reading on all the stories mentioned throughout the show in the selected reading section of our show notes. Those links are also included on our website, space.n2k.com. Just click on today's episode title.
Hi there! Whether you've been listening to T- from the start, or this is your first episode tuning in, I want to thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing here at T-, your support will help us grow and bring you more of the insights and the guest interviews that you enjoy. So if you could take a moment and leave us a 5-star rating and short review in whatever podcast app you use, I would appreciate it so much. tell us about your favorite Can't Miss Monthly segment or an interview that made you really stop and think. It really does help. And I wouldn't be much of a podcast host if I didn't drop an obligatory like and subscribe now and then after all, so please do. And thank you. We will be right back.
AI adoption is exploding, and security teams are under pressure to keep up. That's why the industry is coming together at the DataSec AI Conference, the premier event for cybersecurity data and AI leaders, hosted by data security leader SAGA. Built for the industry, by the industry, this two-day conference is where real-world insights and bold solutions take center stage. DataSec AI 25 is happening November 12th and 13th in Dallas. There's no cost to attend. Just bring your perspective and join the conversation. Register now at datasecai2025.com/cyberwire. Think your certificate security is covered? By March 2026, TLS certificate lifespans will be cut in half, meaning double today's renewals. And in 2029, certificates will expire every 47 days, demanding between 8 and 12 times the renewal volume. That's exponential complexity, operational workload, and risk. Unless you modernize your strategy. CyberArk, proven in identity security, is your partner in certificate security. CyberArk simplifies lifecycle management with visibility, automation, and control at scale. Master the 47-day shift with CyberArk. Scan for vulnerabilities, streamline operations, scale security. Visit cyberark.com/47day. That's cyberark.com/47day.
Welcome back. It's off to the races for research teams who want to get their science research physically aboard the International Space Station, as humanity's favorite orbiting lab is open to new proposals. More formally, the Center for the Advancement of Science, or CASIS, and the U.S. National Science Foundation are seeking proposals with up to $3.6 million available for multiple projects. In this specific solicitation round, NSF and CASIS are looking for proposals that have to do with research in these specific areas: fluid dynamics, particulate and multi-phase processes, thermal transport systems, combustion and fire systems, nanoscale interactions, manufacturing methods that employ any of those transport phenomena, and/or resulting metallic materials, metal nanostructures, and ceramic materials. So, any of that sound like you? Well, you have until January 12th, 2026 to submit the feasibility review form, and that is the first step in the process. If your concept passes that step, then on to full proposal submission time, due March 4th, 2026. Maybe circle those dates on your calendars. Now, if scientific research is not in your professional purview, don't worry, there's still cool stuff that you can do, like look at the moon with your eyes, or maybe with a telescope or binoculars if you have them. That's because on October 4th, yes, it's coming up, it is NASA's International Observe the Moon Night. So yeah, Sunday night, if weather allows wherever you are, take a peek at the moon. It won't be full, but it'll be close, waxing gibbous if you know what that means. It's always a lovely sight, the moon, in any phase. And that is T-Minus, brought to you by N2K Cyberwire. We'd love to know what you think of our podcast. Your feedback ensures we deliver the insights that keep you a step ahead in the rapidly changing space industry. If you like the show, please share a rating and review in your podcast app. Please also fill out the listener survey in our show notes or send us an email to space@n2k.com. We're proud that N2K Cyberwire is part of the daily routine of the most influential leaders and operators in the public and private sector, from the Fortune 500 to many of the world's preeminent intelligence and law enforcement agencies. N2K helps space and cybersecurity professionals grow, learn, and stay informed. As the nexus for discovery and connection, we bring you the people, the technology, and the ideas shaping the future of secure innovation. Learn how at N2K.com. N2K senior producer is Alice Carruth. Our producer is Liz Stokes. We are mixed by Elliot Peltzman and Trey Hester, with original music by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Peter Kilpe is our publisher, and I am your host, Maria Varmazis. Thank you for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.
T-minus.
And now, a word from our sponsor, ThreatLocker, the powerful zero-trust enterprise solution that stops ransomware in its tracks. Allow Listing is a deny-by-default software that makes application control simple and fast. Ring fencing is an application containment strategy, ensuring apps can only access the files, registry keys, network resources, and other applications they truly need to function. Shut out cybercriminals with world-class endpoint protection from ThreatLocker.